Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to quickly show you what we've accessed. This is a mega CNN News 18 exclusive. Try and look at this carefully, and I want you to understand. These red dots are the terror camps which are currently operating over in Pakistan. The red dots. The yellow dots are the launch pads, active launch pads full of jihadis waiting to infiltrate. On the 26th of July, we told you there is huge pressure on the Pakistani army to break this ceasefire because the jihadis want to push largely all these jihadis who are and terrorists who have been recruited from the south of Punjab. They've been trained and they're sitting here and they're getting restless. What do they want to do? They want to enter Indian soil and they want to perpetrate a lot of terror and mayhem. So these are all the camps. Let's count how many of them are active. The yellow ones, these are the active terror launch pads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 launch pads have been marked out, ladies and gentlemen. 26 launch pads with a minimum of 50 to 100 terrorists on each of these launch pads. And of course, this supply line which is brimming. So there is a lot of supply which is there and they want to break in. This is what we've been able to access. Our investigations editor Manoj Gupta able to access. We also have the locations. So here is where the locations are. The terror camps: Khalid bin Walid, Gari Habibullah, Umar bin Khattab, Atar Shisha, Abbottabad, Tarbela, Naushera, Kahuta, Jhelum, and of course Zafar Iqbal Baiwa. So these are the terror camps, and the launch pads are Abdul bin Masood, Chelabandi, Manastaya, Deoliya, Garhi Dupatta, Safaida, Halan Shumali, Bagh, Alibad, Forward Kahuta, Rawalakot, Dungi, Hajira, Sensa, Kotli, Palani, Nikial, Kund, Samani, Kotera, and of course Khoiratani. All of these are the active launch pads which are available which are ready at this moment. But there is more, ladies and gentlemen. There is more. So even as this map should baffle you, shock you, and say what is going on, brazen violation of ceasefire, because they are only building up these launch pads and camps, and now they're just waiting for one opportunity for the guns to start go booming, and they will try and push all these terrorists into us before the snow falls or the winter sets in. So this is the entire group of jihadis who are waiting. This is the India-Pak border, and then of course this is all the LOC that comes here. So even towards the Kashmir region as we move on. Now we've got more inputs coming through, and this is big. As in terms of the Pakistani infiltration, they have already got about 50 foreign terrorists embedded in Srinagar, ladies and gentlemen. This is what top intel sources are telling CNN News 18. Our investigations editor Manoj Gupta able to get all these details. All terror camps and launch pads shifted near the LOC. Every terror launch pad just a few kilometers from the LOC. Some of them less than 2 kilometers from the LOC. Pak placing launch pads at multiple entry points, planning to increase the frequency of infiltration. Lashkar, Hizbul, Jaish fighters, Al-Badr fighters, they have all combined ranks now, gathered together at these launch pads. 300 small weapons have been transported into India via drone drops. Weapon caches established in and around Srinagar. Nearly 50 FTs or foreign terrorists are currently based in the main town of Srinagar already. 50 foreign terrorists in Srinagar awaiting orders from their ISI handlers. These people have got OGW support also. Is a surgical strike the only option, is the question that we ask. And let's go to gentlemen who know much more about this, and they can speak at length about what is in India's best strategic interest. We should have the former GOC 15 Corps, Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon joining us any moment now, but we also have former Officer Raw, Mr. NK Sood, joining us this evening. Mr. NK Sood, let me first ask you, General Dhillon is also with us. General Dhillon and NK Sood ji, namaste and Jai Hind. Now General Dhillon, what do we do? ये तो बैठे हैं घुसने के लिए, और 50 से ज्यादा तो श्रीनगर में ही already हैं. More than 300 weapons have been dropped via drones.
Jai Hind, Anand, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Anand, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Go ahead, please.
Anand, Jai Hind, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Go ahead, please. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, Anand, I listened to you, and we have to understand this whole game of Pakistan in the proper context. We must understand Pakistan is now rattled, as you very rightly said, after the Independence Day celebrations, Tiranga being, unfurled at Lal Chowk, Tiranga rallies happening, Har Ghar Tiranga happening in whole of Kashmir, Independence Day celebration going in with full fervor, Shri Amarnath Ji Yatra having gone in with full, sort of glory, and the tourists flocking the valley like never before. Now, this has rattled the powers that be in Pakistan and the jihadis. The ceasefire, as you very rightly said, is not playing up to the game because they want to take cover of the fire on the line of control to push in the jihadis. Now, if you see the happenings of last 3-4 days, the number of infiltration attempts which have been made in Jammu sector as well as Srinagar sector or the Kashmir sector. And most of the viewers would have heard that statement of the Pakistani terrorist who has been captured alive, who says he was paid 30,000 Pakistani rupees, which is equivalent to 11,000 Indian rupees. Now, this is the cost of a Pakistani citizen for Pakistan army who pushes them into Indian side to go and die. Now, this is the cost of a Pakistani life in the eyes of the Pakistan army. This is the cost which Pakistan is bearing for carrying on the terrorism in Kashmir. But the way our security forces on the line of control have, sort of failed all these infiltration attempts is a good going. But Pakistan is rattled. Their internal problems are aggravating their feeling of being rattled. And that is why they are now desperate to do something in Kashmir.
But how do we tackle this? That's the larger question. Should India go on the offensive? Because then then there is a thought process which says that gives the Pak army a handle, especially when they are on a weak footing back home, that it gives them a handle to say, "Arey, Kashmir hai, khatra hai," and then they will exercise more, and then they will blame India for violating ceasefire. So what do we do?
Absolutely. See, Pakistan army in the history of Pakistan since 1947 is today on the weakest ground. Even after 1971's humiliating defeat of 93,000 prisoners of war of a standing army, Pakistan army was not that weak. Today, the common public is questioning the Pakistan army, their motives, their interference in the governance, and why. The defense budget is increasing in Pakistan, whereas the normal Pakistani is hand to mouth. The economy is in doldrums, the inflation is all-time high, Pakistani rupee vis-a-vis the dollar has crossed 220 mark, and the petrol and other essential commodities are touching the sky, the prices. So now with this background, with the debts rising, Pakistan defense budget is going up. So this is what, for the first time in the history, a common Pakistani is questioning Pakistan army. So Pakistan army, to get out of this situation where public doesn't go against them, they have to bring up the Kashmir card. And now they're losing on Kashmir also. With today's connected world, the internet being available, the social media being available to all the Pakistanis, they can see what's happening in Kashmir. The progress is visible. The people are happy. The sports are being played. The tourists are coming. The shops are open. There's a money flowing in Kashmir. There's a development happening. Now, with all this happening in Kashmir and the public seeing it, they are now questioning as to what Pakistan army has done for Kashmir and Kashmiri costs. And like I said there earlier, 30,000 Pakistani rupee is the cost of a man's life.
Correct.
And you can imagine how much they will put on a Kashmiri life.
Correct.
If they